all of your favorite recipes. Simply Food.
You should know by now that you're in for a treat.
Simply Food.
There's no other channel where you'd rather be.
Simply Food. Seafood, pasta, cakes, and pies. Sing and laugh and even cry. Like and share and hit subscribe. Simply Food by TY.
What's up, you guys? It's your boy Simply Food by TY, and welcome back to another episode of Absolutely or Absolutely Not, where I'm going to be trying out some of the recipes of some of my favorite celeb and YouTube chefs. And today we're taking on a lemon curd tart from the Preppy Kitchen. Now, if you guys have not already checked it out, last week I posted a video on how to make a sweet pastry crust. So if you guys want to check that out so that you can learn how to make your crust from scratch, click on the link that just popped up on the screen and I will take care of that for you. I already have this one already partially pre-baked. At this point, I'm literally just putting on the egg wash and then poking some holes in it just so that I can make sure that there's no air pockets that are forming, because you never want the center of your crust to rise up. Just so you guys know, this is going to be an 11-inch tart. So when we get to the aspect of the video where we're making the lemon curd itself, if you're going to be making a smaller tart, by all means, feel free to reduce the recipe by half. But I always enjoy having extra because you can utilize it with many other things besides just the tart itself, okay? Now, one thing I will say, when you're making a lemon curd, you want to start off with really great ingredients. Get yourself organic lemons and try to find the best eggs you can possibly find. Vital Farms, I think, is fantastic when it comes to something like this because, once again, there's not that many ingredients that go into making a lemon curd, and so you want to make sure that all the ingredients that you do put in it are fantastic. This particular recipe comes from the Preppy Kitchen, of course. I'll leave his original recipe down below. I will tell you guys, I've always enjoyed lemon curd, but I've never really taken the time to make it, and this is a recipe that I will be using from now on. So what I'm doing right now is I am zesting anywhere between 2 to 3 lemons. It's really just going to depend on how big the lemons are that you're getting. You want to end up with about 4 tablespoons. Now, what I will say is this, because once again, this is not a recipe that takes a lot of ingredients and the lemon is truly the star, you guys try your hardest to get organic lemons, and if you can't, just make sure you are thoroughly washing them. Either way, thoroughly wash them, but definitely if they're not organic, because the zest is going to play a major part in this recipe, and you just want to make sure that it's clean. You know, you don't want dirty lemon zest, you know, all mixed up in your pie, because ain't nobody got time for that. You know what I mean? So once we get all of that done, we're also going to get some of the juice from these lemons. You're going to want to, and you're going to want to, baby, am I over here trying to be Ella Fitzgerald? I'm over here scatting. You're going to want to end up with 1 full cup of lemon juice. I mean, damn, I can't even talk today. But anyway, child. But anyway, so you're going to want to end up with 1 full cup of lemon juice. Just as a heads up, make sure that you guys are using the lemons that you've already zest to juice. I used to make that mistake all the time. Like, I would zest a lemon and then cut into a brand new lemon instead of just using the one that I just zested. I don't know, child. It's just a matter of habit. But anyway, you want to end up with 1 full cup. And once you do juice it all, make sure you run it through a strainer to really try to eliminate as much of the pulp as possible. You want your curd to be extremely smooth. So by running it through a strainer of some sort, you know, that'll kind of help make sure that you end up with a really, really nice, smooth lemon curd. Now, of course, you're going to have a little bit of the lemon zest in there, but that's not really going to mess up the texture as much as a lot of lemon pulp, I should say. Now we're just going to add in some beautiful egg yolks. I mean, absolutely beautiful. Vital Farms is the way to go. We've just added in 12 egg yolks. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to give that a good whisk. We want to get that nice and creamy, get it nice and smooth. Once again, this lemon curd is actually extremely easy to make. I think it's only slightly intimidating just because people sometimes have a difficulty with figuring out the thickness of it all. But you know, you don't really have to stress about that with this recipe. Trust me, it's absolutely great. You're going to put in 2 cups of sugar. Now, once again, as I stated earlier, I am going to be filling up an 11-inch tart. So that is the reason why I am making as much as I am. You guys can absolutely feel free to reduce this recipe by half. But again, having extra lemon curd on the side in a mason jar is never a bad thing. Trust me. You can use it to fill up cupcakes, cookies, all kinds of stuff. I'm going to be making a few more recipes with my leftover lemon curd, so trust me, you. Once you get the sugar all nicely incorporated, go on ahead and add in the lemon zest and go on ahead and give that a good mix around as well. If you really want to be fancy and really infuse the lemon zest into the sugar, you can take the lemon zest and the sugar, put it in a food processor and chop it up a bit, give it a few pulses. And what that'll do is it'll pretty much open up and shred the oils that's within the lemon peels, which will help even more, but I don't think it's necessary. So now we're going to start to add in our 1 cup of lemon juice. Now, as you can see, I'm going to be adding it in little by little. And as you can also see, I'm mixing it all inside of the pan that we're going to be cooking it in. Now, I would suggest that you guys get yourself the best pan or best pot that you have. You really don't want this to burn. And also, I would say, depending on the type of whisk that you're using, like I'm using a very wide balloon whisk. So I also make sure that I use the spatula to really get down in the corners of the bottom of that pot, because this whisk is not going to reach it and you don't want any of your egg to start frying. Now, once we begin to cook this, it is extremely important that you guys understand that number 1, patience is the key. Patience is the key because you want this to get nice and thick, but you do not want this to come to a rapid boil. You do not want to run the risk of cooking the egg that is mixed inside of this. So what you want to do is once you get all of your lemon juice fully incorporated, you're going to transfer it over to your stovetop. Now, you can do this 1 or 2 ways. You can do it like I'm doing, which is pretty much cooking it directly on the heat, but I am vigorously whisking it, and I'm going to continue to whisk it until it reaches either 165 degrees Fahrenheit or it is nice and thick and it can coat the back of a wooden spoon. That's when you'll know that it's nice and done. Do it nice and slowly. Don't try to rush it or you will burn it, okay? Once you get up to that temperature and it can coat the back of a spoon without running off, you're going to remove it from the heat, and then we're going to go on ahead and add in 1 cup of cubed ice cold butter. Now, the good thing about using the ice cold butter, that's going to immediately start to lower the temperature of the curd, which is great. Now, just as a mind, just keep this in mind, as you're pouring it in, you might be very worried that it seems extremely watery, but it will thicken up as it gets cold, trust me. And if you are truly concerned and you really want to make sure that it's extra thick, there is no harm in you adding in a little bit of cornstarch and whisking that in. That's completely fine. No worries at all. Just don't add anything like gelatin or something like that. Once you pour this in, you're going to wrap this up in cling film, put it in the fridge. The next day, top it off with some more lemons and some mint, and then you guys can slice it up, serve it up, and have a blast. This recipe was an absolutely, okay? It was absolutely fabulous, and I think you guys are going to absolutely love it. Look, you guys, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see y'all next week. Bye-bye.
Slaying in the kitchen.
Simply Food by TY.
We hope that you enjoyed it.
Simply Food by TY. If you haven't took the time, make sure you subscribe. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching.